ethical hacking. So he shared his knowledge more than 30 plus stages across multiple cities in India. So let's give into more on that. Let's welcome Ranganathan.
Hi. Firstly, thank you for being here. Saturday, it takes a lot of effort, I know. So, firstly, we'll have a clap for you people. Thank you for being here. And thanks to the team, thanks to Shiva, and thanks to Vaishnavi and the team for having me here. It's a great pleasure to be here. And inside the hacker's mind, what is they will them, okay? எத்தனை பேர் தேவன் படிச்சீங்க? யார் அந்த தேவன் அப்படின்னு யாராவது ஒருத்தங்களா இருப்பீங்க. That's totally fine. No worries. And by the way, how many people cannot understand Tamil? So you're the only one. Where are you from? Not Telugu, so no worries. Okay. I'll try to keep the session less formal. I'm sorry. I wish, I do formal presentation like Rai, but my presentation, it really sucks. You'll see in the coming slides. I didn't do any quizzes. And we'll also have a claps for Roy. It was a great session. Thank you. This session is only for educational and awareness purpose. Please, don't try to hack in some companies and get a legal notice. I did this, I think it is 2021, and there was this IT company, I don't remember, I don't even remember the name. I sent them some vulnerability report to the support email. I found this XYZ security vulnerability. And they were like, thank you for getting in touch with us. We are looping our legal team, they will get back to you. I was like, Tom. So, and then that was, I remember that was the last time I cried. And then later, I was like, okay, thank you, I'll loop in my legal team. So, I mean, I didn't hack or I didn't do anything illegal, but yeah, still I will not encourage that. There will be too many memes and, it will be very less formal. And also having said that, to keep in mind, much insightful. So, welcome to the great Krigal Magic Show. This is Renganathan. I secure medium business, small business, startups at my company called Art Protocols. That will be hopefully soon registered in the same OMR road. I hacked into a couple of companies, Apple, Google, LinkedIn, WeWork, Amazon, Cognizant, BigBasket, BBC, Rapido, Union, Nike, Nika, Upstarts, Byju's. I lost the count. I gave some 30 plus stocks, SRM, CIT, VIT, probably these couple of colleges in OMR itself, SSN, Hindustan. So, I hopefully will soon graduate BCA Cybersecurity. I just wrote my 6th semester exams and there was this one paper which was a little difficult. If I'm able to clear that, I will graduate BCA Cybersecurity by this year. I'm 20, so without any arrears hopefully. And sometimes I'm a master chef. I do North Indian foods. I suck at South Indian, I don't know. Tamil dam, but sambarla so I'm a master chef with North Indian. I'll tell something which is not here. I'm a rapper. I sometimes produce music, not like Hanuman kind, but somewhat like probably I'm a Tamil rapper, so I produce Tamil rap and I write sometimes. So this is the agenda for today. Before we start, and while we start the session and after we end the session, so That is the agenda. I just kept it very minimal, and yeah, I think we'll just get started with the session. I lost the count again. I'm sorry. How many people are working here with work experience, freshers or experienced, and how many people are student? How many are student? Okay, I hope you all have like computer science or like IT related degree. Anyone apart from like non-computer science or IT degree? So you both like what course are you doing? Sorry?
Triple E.
Triple E. BCA. ECE. Okay. Oh, nice. And how many people are working here? Okay. Thank you for being here Saturday as well. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And who has never heard about this 5 letters OWASP? That is absolutely fine. We are all here to learn. If not, I'll consider I'm the dumbest one in the room. So, who has not heard about this 5 letters OWASP? Security project. Yes. Can you be a little more louder?
Open Web application security.
Yes, Open Web Application Security Project. It's more like a community, it's more like a foundation, and they tell developers how not to, mess or screw up a website. And, those people have laid a lot of informations and developer guidelines about creating and developing secure web application. They have a lot of vulnerability list, and they call it as OWASP 10. We have something called the old version, we have something called new version, and we have something called OWASP 10 for API and OWASP 10 for LLM. So now they recently came up with LLM. Okay. This is OWASP top 10, and we have a couple of security vulnerability. So we have a couple of differences. A bug is different from a security vulnerability. Security vulnerability could be a bug, but bug need not be a vulnerability. It could be something like you click the button and it is not working, or there is something which is wrong functionally, or some color is not getting loaded. So these are usually like UI or UX or functional level bug, which I really don't find it very interesting to my life. But whereas I find these kind of security vulnerability, which is basically loopholes and security flaws that is present in the application, which could either affect the customers, which could either affect the stakeholders, which could either affect the company itself, or which could affect anyone. Okay, so anyone should probably worried about that level of security flaw, and that one is the old one, and this one is a new one. And these are top 10 vulnerability which probably you should know if you're a developer. And if you're trying to get into technology or development anywhere around it, you should still know this. Maybe I can loop all these resources, putting in a notepad, and I'll request the team to send in a WhatsApp. Okay. So my kind of icebreaker session is what this. From a hacker's mindset, from a hacker's perspective, or someone who's it. How many are developers here? That's a nice number. How many of you are wanting to get into development? Who are interested in coding? Not all that. I mean, my deep condolences. I'm sorry. Developers knows. It's like vana varadinga, so that is what. But yeah, I mean, development is still fun. Anyways, I'm trauma bonding. I'm sorry. So from a hacker's mindset, I want you to just look at this page and see what could possibly go wrong. It is a contact us page which asks for name, which asks for email address, and which asks for message, and you hit a submit button, and something happens. So
Power off.
You will get frequent mails.
frequent mails. Marketing team will be spamming. I'm sorry, we have marketing team here. Bro, not every marketing team are like that. So I'm a marketer myself. I run a startup. I do both accounting, marketing, all the CXO, so okay. Apart from operational stuff, we'll talk technically. From a hacker mindset, like from a hacker perspective, what do you think can go wrong in this contact page?
Code injection.
Code injection. Who told you? Super. SQL injection, yes. What do you mean by code injection? What do you think can be done?
When we don't handle the input correctly,
Okay.
so we enter string and we add some comment line.
Okay.
Getting the shell from there.
Getting a shell, okay, could be possible. Tell me like more like what would be the business objective, or what could be the business side of risk? I mean, you are correct. We have code injection, we have shell. You could get a shell, but again, we don't know how it is able to put a kind of shell there. Can you little bit
Duplicate data.
duplicate data? How do you think duplicating data works?
Like something that's not valid, but
I mean, you don't have access to the database, right? You only have access to this form. You're an outsider with zero access to the internal network of the company, and you only have this nice looking contact form page. What do you think can be done?
We can access the variables used in that.
How do you think the variables can be? I mean, bro, tell me the business risk. If something happens, if XYZ thing happens, then XYZ can happen. So it can lead to these things, something like that.
The data is not protected properly, we can somehow get the data of the users or credit card information.
Okay, nice. Not exactly, need not be credit card, but I'll give you both the
The data
perspectives.
is not protected, probably we could manipulate it to make the business.
So if I'm giving my name, where does my name goes?
Database.
Which database? Like,
There are
yeah, they're back in. But to be more precise, we have a word for that. No, I mean, not technically. So, okay, who will be worrying about this information from the company? Support team, marketing team, and they usually use this term called CRM or ERP.
customer relationship.
Yeah, customer relationship management. Something we have a lot of CRM tools today. I usually don't use brand names, but yeah, we have a lot of CRM tools, and some company they develop their own internal CRM tool to manage their admin workflows, and some companies they have external CRMs by SaaS companies and stuff like that. I had kind of a talk with probably he's more IT manager, he gets the IT. I think he's more like the CIO or someone like that. Okay, I can't disclose the region. They are into distributing chemicals. I'm not sure if them. I think they also manufacture chemicals, I guess. Something like that. They're a very big name in the market. And they were we just do chemicals and stuff, we have some internal systems. What do you think can be done, and why do you think security audit is mandatory for us? And I was like, so would you mind if I do something for you and just show you what could be the impact, or do you think I can just quickly do a kind of a smoke test? Smoke test is nothing but I don't manipulate anything in the database. I don't hack into their database or anything like that. But I just like do a little bit of very lightweight stuff and just show you the business impact. And he was like, yeah, let me know if you find anything like that. But I don't think you can find anything. Is what we had a conversation. And what happened is something like these people told. I was able to inject JavaScripts in this particular contact way. Yes, exactly. Cross-site scripting, XSS. So if I'm if it is asking for name instead of typing Ranga, and I was like script src some particular link and close the script tag, and that external link is going to loaded into this particular page and execute. Doing something called blind cross-site scripting, which is blind XSS. So I'm typing some keywords, and that some keywords is not actual keywords. They are programs where they are scripts. They are literally coding JavaScripts. Okay, and browsers and JavaScripts are are having a great relationship. And this particular JavaScript is getting loaded into the marketing team browser, and I have access to 4,000 leads. I'm able to get their cookies. I logged in as admin. I had access to their 4,000 leads. I had access to qualified leads. I had access to non-qualified leads. I was able to add admins. I was able to delete users. Stuff like that. I didn't do anything. I just just quickly just wrote a small report to the that concerned authoritative person, and they're having the conversation kept going on. Okay, and that is for someone who is into chemical industry. Okay, they are not even like IT company or tech or SaaS, but still it can be hacked. So cybersecurity is not only for IT company or service company or product company or anything like that. They were into actually chemical manufacturing and stuff like that. Okay. We also had a similar stuff with other company. They are a big player in construction, and again their internal CRM was not properly closed. And we were able to read 14,000 leads, 14,000 contact messages, which we'll see further how it can be done. So there is something called API key, which acts more like your password, but that is more dangerous than your password. If someone gets access to your API key belonging to some service, basically API key acts as an authentication. It acts like who you are and what you are doing, what kind of resources you're going to get access to, or what operation are you going to do. So API key does these things. Depending on the service, API key is the functions and all these things changes. Okay. Probably if someone has access to the API key belonging to some XYZ service, they can increase your billing, because some API key will be billed based on the usage. Probably if you look at the documentation, you can just keep using the API keys, and you can just keep adding the bill that causing financial issues. Okay. Statistics says I took statistics because I can sound smart, else I don't know the numbers. So they told some 10 million credentials of API keys were leaked in the GitHub. And most of the developers love committing secrets in their public GitHub repository. That is, by the way, have anyone did that? Shiva is going to get mad. You are fired. Have anyone did that? I'm pretty sure someone would have did that. That's okay. That is fine. No worries. I know. So, anyway.
But still, once done, it is not revertible, right? Because you will have everything in the commit history also.
You can delete the repository.
Yeah, that's the only way.
Some people will be like, okay, bro, I'm just going to change it, and those people don't know, Git is the version, you have version history. In the commit history, you can just see there's this person who did something called your good name? I'm sorry.
Jalil.
Sorry.
Jalil.
Jalil. So like as Jalil said, there was this security researcher. He did an automation to scrap or to gain access to deleted GitHub commits, and several GitHub deleted commits had active API keys, including Slack and other sensitive services, giving him some $64,000 in bounty in total. So those kind of common mistakes could land you in very big trouble, and mostly companies they are very conscious when it comes to they have a lot of security in control which is set in place to ensure secrets are not being publicly committed. But when it comes to the personal employee repositories, those things can happen. Okay. Okay, so I hacked into this global co-working space provider company. They have very big name. I can't tell the name here. So I was looking at GitHub. I was just using this particular keyword at target.com and double quotation password, and I found Mac was history file, which was committed in the public a few months ago. And I was able to log into their main application, and it did not have a two-step verification because that was a personal account. Personal usage account for a company account in the personal GitHub repository. Okay, that gave me access to 700 plus buildings across the globe, and I was able to book meeting rooms. I was able to invite guests on behalf of that guy. And I googled the GitHub repo owner, and I came to find out he is SGE3, which is basically I think someone with more than 4 years of experience, I guess, right? SGE3, or more than that, I'm not sure exactly. He's a developer with a lot of experience, but still he chose us to have his work credentials in the public GitHub repository for more than 4 months. That happened, and I'm pretty sure you will be surprised to see how many these GitHub repositories can go unnoticed in the public. Maybe yeah, I think maybe I think I can still use the name. So probably I'm just going to search maybe Cognizant password.
Is that like Google Docs?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so basically this is GitHub has a lot of publicly available codes, and some people are by mistake or intentionally or out of personal grudge towards the company. They're like, okay, this is my last day working at the company, so here you go, production server. So actually something like this happened. There is this company called what is the company? Kirana Pro. I think this was the one. Okay, so there was this company called Kirana Pro. Okay, so what happens? I feel very bad for them. I'm sorry. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. On May 26, Kirana Pro executive became aware of the incident while logging into their Amazon Web Service AWS. Hackers gained access to their root accounts on AWS and GitHub. Ravindran, I think he's the CEO. He shared this couple of screenshots of a GitHub security log, and someone gained access to their systems via former employee's account. And the CTO told that there was a hack that happened. Okay, someone had used the Google Authenticator, and they hacked into their EC2 instance, and all their computing services were deleted. Okay, so these are basically the services. These are basically the supercomputers that is powering up various functions and resources for very big companies. It can include payment service, it can include login service. Probably if these computing services were deleted, maybe their operations could be literally disrupted. Okay. Okay, and then they raised the IP, blah blah blah. See, I believe these are basic IT security stuff which is usually missed. If it was former employee, they should have terminated all the emails, because IT people will be like, okay, I forgot to do it. So it can also be sometimes internal or insider threat. Okay, I just okay, I don't want to go down. Okay, so something like this. Okay, I don't want to be in the trouble. I love cognizant. Like some people are recording, so I don't want to get sued. Okay. I mean, it could be Cognizant, it could be Tesla, it could be Google, or it could be any other big names. There's something which similarly happened for Rapido. I was able to get access to it. One of the internal key clock server that was a very long time ago, that was disclosed to the Rapido team, and they fixed it. It was not even now, it was probably 2 years back, I guess. Something like this. Because these kind of JavaScript files are really nice, okay. When the whole application is rendered and everything is going to be in a nice bundle. If it is something White or React or whatever, they are going to intentionally bundle sensitive APIs and EME files and probably some PEM files and put it publicly, causing the developers latest to be in trouble. Okay. If you look at the source code, we'll have something called main.js or app.js, which is basically actually the skeleton for the entire web application. All the API endpoints will be there, all the sometimes some tokens or URLs will be there to making sure they have smooth operations. But still, that could be set under as told environment variable or something like that. Okay. Which basically means it need not be in the public eyes.
So the search you did, it only gets the current files, right? Not the history of files.
I don't think it gets history.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure. I don't think it will get history, but maybe you can manually look at the commit history and see what are the line chains. You will get the red and green lines. So what I do is I have these GitHub monitoring, GitHub, GitLab, Docker, Hugging Face, and all these public services. This tool will be monitoring, and it will continuously look at the internet and find if there is anything sensitive found. It found some OpenAI secret keys, which was kept public. And that could give you access to their models which they're using, what kind of stuff they are working on and things like that. It is more during a physical pen test attack, during a physical security engagement, you could see people writing their system password and sticking it, pasting it on a sticky note, probably back in the old days. Maybe even now, I'm not sure. Okay. Maybe if you get access to internal Slack team, there was something very similar, similar happened. Okay. I once had access to one of the company's Discord server, their internal Discord team. There was a bunch of Discord people, they didn't have a Slack channel, they had a Discord channel, and the worst thing was they had all their secrets in plain text in their internal channel. Usually company has this very bad habit of using secrets in internal chats WhatsApp or Teams or Slack or whatever. But I would say have a proper secret managers And we have like CI/CD security integrated tools that will scan every commit and every push you are going to make, and that is going to continuously scan and let you know if there is anything sensitive you put by mistake. Okay. But if there are developers who are just like pushing hundreds and thousands of lines of code, they cannot just like manually look at every line of code and see what they did in console or what is there in public JavaScript files. For that, we have scanners that could be set in place. And there was another nice incident that I worked on. That's a very leading healthcare people, it's a leading hospital in India. So there was this scenario where the invoice was sent to phone numbers by SMS, and they used a third-party URL tracker to see who clicked on a link and stuff like that. Okay. And then what happened? We had a public S3 bucket. S3 bucket is nothing but simple storage secure. Developers. Simple secure storage. Huh? Simple storage.
Simple secure storage, I guess.
Simple secure storage. Okay, it's nothing but a bucket, okay, where you can put your files. It is again, it's a virtual, it's a computing service by AWS, okay, where you can store your files, kind of a folders and structure, okay. I found a particular URL where we had access to hundred thousands of patients' invoice, and these file names were very predictable. Okay, if I say if the file names are predictable, I will tell you how it was predictable. It was something like maybe like HID 1198.pdf. 1198 is the customer. I mean, it's the patient ID. It's a PID, and there was other multiple consequent consequential numbers one after the other. We had 1198 and we had 1190 and we had 1210, something like that. You increment, you decrement, and you get access to sensitive people's data. Okay. If you could prevent this, maybe you could use something like a strong salted hash or something like that. That is going to make it very difficult for people to predict. And we have something called signed URL. Okay. Have anyone has the idea about signed URL?
Like Bitly. Like Bitly.
No. Signed URL is a very nice security concept. Okay. Can anyone try to help me with decoding this particular URL? You don't have to open this. This won't work. Just look at with your eyes and see if there is something you can find it nice or sus. Credential. No.
Signature equals to ABC 123 exam.
Sorry?
Signature equals to
Give
ABC
you the
123.
PDF
Isn't it an email ID kind of things?
Yeah, we have expiration to the URL. That is one thing. Sorry, what did you tell?
So that signature equals to ABC 123. Example, is that like a mail ID?
Last line.
No, that's not an email ID. What did you say?
No, the credential is.
Credential. No, not that one. That could be anything. It's not exactly a credential. It's not a password. Any other guess?
Exposing the algorithm.
It is a kind of algorithm they used, but it's not exactly exposing the algorithm. So they are just letting you know that this algorithm is being in use. Yeah, we have SHA-256. Okay, I will decode it. So what I found is just forget all these things, okay? I found my bucket.s3 amazon aws.com/invoices and 1198.pdf. This was the only thing which I got in my SMS. I am a hacker by heart. So I did 119.pdf. There was no authentication, there was no token, there was no password, there is no API key, and it just gave me someone's invoice. Okay, but instead they could choose to sign the URL. Okay, signing the URL means 1198_BF1301. That is a particular hash that's kind of like it's a salted one. And then we have ANG algorithm. It's like HMAP, and that particular for AWS we have like signed it to ensure this is not being manipulated or this is not being tampered. And we have a access key ID, AWS access key ID, and then what else do we have? We have an expiry date, when this particular signature was generated, and it expires in 600, which means like 10 minutes, 600 seconds, and then we have the signature. Okay. Any one letter or any one number tampered in this particular link will not work. Okay. So it will expire in 600 seconds. It is more like, okay, you are asking me for 1198.pdf. Fine. I'm going to give you the particular file. Along with, I'm going to give you a secret code to ensure this file name matches with this particular secret code word, and I know the secret code word, so I'm going to tell you if you can access that file or not. So AWS, the server generates a secret codes and give you the particular file name. You are clicking on it, it ensures they match, and all the matches happen, and then they will be like, okay, fine, you are allowed to download this invoice. If in case I manipulate 1192.pdf and the signature doesn't match with their server signature, they will be like, access denied.
What happens if you change the expires?
Still it won't work.
Okay.
Because nothing is validated on the client side.
Okay.
This is already algorithm.
Yeah, it's already like server side algorithm. So we have something called IDOR, which again comes with broken access control. Okay. We have very nice two keywords which I was confused. Probably only I think 5 years ago, I discovered there was something called difference between authentication and authorization. Okay. Authentication is nothing but you're going to log in and you're going to tell who you are. And authorization is basically going to tell you if you have the privilege or if you have the power to know or understand or access what resources you're trying to work on. Okay. I'll give you a very simple example to this classic vulnerability called IDOR. You also call it as BOLA, which is broken object level authorization. Okay. I love to call it IDOR. Some people call it BOLA. Again, we have a minute difference, but yeah, IDOR is nothing but insecure direct object reference. That is the same thing which I told you earlier. I'm going to access a particular file or PDF, whatever, in the server that will have a particular number. If I'm going to try to access that, it is going to work. If I'm going to try to access some other file name or some other data, it will be like, yeah, it still work. I'm going to give you the data. Okay. So you are basically tampering the objects which you don't have access to. This particular file name or number is basically an object, and you are going to tamper that, and that is going to give you this. Imagine how many of you think this vulnerability is a very stupid vulnerability or something like that? Because I thought that, but we had this issue which was there in not this. some researcher, okay, he found out this vulnerability was there in Instagram actually. You know, we have these reels thumbnail, right? Maybe like, you know, if you look at this particular page, like, you know, you have all the reels that are there, and like, you know, we have all the cover pictures and like, you know, stuff like that. Okay, so these are like, you know, some thumbnails. Okay, what if someone is able to change the thumbnail belonging to some influential figures like Zuckerberg or Virat Kohli, Ronaldo, or Narendra Modi, or anyone like that? Okay, I'm just like, you know, some idiot like, you know, who's posted some random stuff. Okay, but maybe if it belongs to some influential people and they're like follow Renganathan or something like that, or like, you know, something like more inappropriate, that is going to cause a very big trouble for Meta as a platform. Okay, I'll tell you this. You know, right, you can change the thumbnail even after posting the reels, and we have something called I don't even mind hacking into Apple or Google. Okay, if I open inspect element, I feel like hacker already, so I don't care about hacking into Apple and all. By the way, I found a bug in iCloud long time ago. We'll talk about that. Okay. Okay, I think okay, this is some like random stupid reel of mine. Okay, so we have something called media ID. Okay, this is the media ID. Okay, you see this number 364522, something like that. Okay, so what someone could do is that researcher, what he was able to do is he was able to get the media ID of someone like maybe some influential people. Okay, media ID is like very simple. This particular media ID is more like an identification for this particular Instagram thumbnail. Okay, for this Instagram reel thumbnail. What he was able to do is he was trying to change the particular thumbnail, and server was communicating like, okay, you're changing this particular media ID. In that place, instead of his own media ID, he replaced with his test account media ID, because he can't just directly go and attack Mark Zuckerberg. He will be behind the bars. So during a security engagement, it is very mandatory, or even in like, you know, internal penetration testing or whatever, it is very mandatory that you don't directly do anything with the production server. So that is going to put you in trouble. Okay. So he had a test account, and he replaced with the other ID, leading to change the thumbnails of this particular Instagram reels, and I think he got some I don't know, maybe, yeah, he got some $50,000, $49,500. Okay, that sums up to like some 38 lakhs or something like that. Okay, so this is the same concept, but it is just in different place. Okay, you have a particular object, you are tampering with it, you are replacing with other object, and boom, stuff happens. This is a big brand. They work with F&B brands like Back Hotel, and like, you know, Kerbert Bing, Den Manuals. So I'm just trying to, you know, change the names. So they basically like, you know, work with very big food and beverage brands, restaurants, cafes, and they are a software to manage their inventories, orders, revenue, etc., etc. Okay, that I think they even had a data breach. Maybe they missed a pen test. They thought, okay, security is our last priority. So I didn't do anything. Okay, I disclosed this and they fixed it and still they had a data breach. Okay, because I only found this. We did not sign a contract, and then later we signed it, but that's a different one. Okay, that's for the English. Okay, I found a particular file called main.js, and I found this particular API endpoint, which goes like API.redacted is nothing but I have hidden the name. I don't want to give the exact API endpoint. Okay. I was telling you, right, we should use hash instead of predictable numbers. These people had hash. Okay. This is the particular path. Okay. Slash API slash m order slash hash redacted and ulpht. See, it is very difficult to get someone's hash. Okay. But yeah, this can't be predicted. Okay. But if you know this, you can get access to someone's personal data without any authentication. Okay, you don't have to be logged. But it is very difficult, it's very impossible to guess the actual hash. Okay. But the problem is they had another API endpoint where you can use simple numbers like api.redacted.com /API /order something like some easy numbers. Okay. So if I know this number, that is going to split up this number. If I know this hash, I can get access to personal data belonging to users, which is nearly 6 million users. They are customers of leading F&B brands who sells burgers, pizzas, and tacos, who are very big names. Okay. So it's a very it's a very simple authentication issue. It's a simple logical issue. Okay. So I just wrote a simple Python script that will expose the hash if I give a random 5-digit number or 6-digit number or 7-digit number, and it is going to give me the URL, and if I click on URL, I'm going to get their Swiggy or Zomato or riders data. I'm going to get their phone number, I'm going to get their house address, their personal phone number, email ID, and all these things, blah blah blah. Okay. So this is the main JavaScript file. Okay, this is basically nothing but you click Control U and okay, I think this one is not this one. You just do Control U and then you see there is this .js file, and there are a couple of these 20 files. Okay, something okay, this one is running on WordPress, fine, so then I don't care. Okay, something like this, we'll have a lot of skeleton files. Okay, that is going to be, so if you ask me how do you know the API, M order, and all these things, I will say I was just looking at the code base, which is again basically the source code. Okay, and then I was trying to okay, this one and this joining all the dots, and one endpoint was accepting actual numbers instead of hash. I just simply tried out if it was accepting numbers. So this endpoint api.redacted.com, I typed a number and it gave me the hash. I put the hash back into that particular API endpoint, and it is going to give me all the sensitive data. Yeah, I recently hacked into Rapido and got into a couple of media outlets. No, not illegally and all. They just wanted to praise me. Okay, this guy hacked into Rapido. Okay. So Rapido.bike is the actual landing page, is the actual domain owned by Rapido. But the thing is, I did not stop there. Okay. I searched for copyright 2023 ROP and transportation all rights reserved. Okay, this is basically the footer. If you open probably Rapido website, this one happened very recently. I think December 2024, 7 months back. Okay, now they changed it. I think they also changed their legal name, I guess, if I'm not wrong. Rop and Transportation Private Limited is basically the legal entity of Rapido. Okay, now they changed it, that is fine. So if you just like double tap and copy, paste, and it is going to give you where all this particular legal entity name is used. Okay, so it means Rapido owns the copyright, Rapido manages or owns the particular domain. Okay, so instead of searching 2024, because I hacked in 2024, I searched 2023 purposefully, not because I'm an idiot who forgot to change the year, which is actually true, because I was mentally stuck in 2023. But still somehow, I hacked into the company, so I'm positioning myself as a smart guy. I purposefully did it, but that's not the case. I mentioned it as 2023 to ensure I get old domains and old results, because the developers don't care about the old and staging domains. Okay, Rapido.bike is the only static landing page. Static landing page is nothing but Smart will give you a website and nothing much, you can't do anything else there. Okay, I searched it for 2023 and then I found out several domains, okay, which was belonging to Rapido's entity. And then I found out one more website which was belonging to Rapido. Okay, it did not have much functions, but the best part was it had a nice contact us page. I filled it was a feedback form. Okay, I filled the feedback form with injections with JavaScript to see if there is anything, I'm able to get some cookies or whatever. But the thing is, it was using this kind of objects, this REST API JSON thing. It was using feedback ID, which was again numbers. ID number 1, ID number 2, and instead of calling every single ID, I did not place any numbers and just hit the enter, and it gave me access to 800 feedbacks belonging to Rapido auto drivers, cab drivers probably, bike drivers probably, and also customers. Okay, to ensure it was to ensure it was the correct numbers, it was not dummy data. If I disclose this to the company, they will be like, bro, this is our test data, our engineers are just summa playing. People, they usually do this gatekeeping. Okay, I checked the Truecaller to see auto drivers wearing a khaki shirt. I saw their WhatsApp DPs. I purposefully called Ganesh auto and like, yeah, sorry, wrong number, I just cut the call. Because I have to ensure if he's an actual auto driver or if it was just some dummy test data. I did this to 10 people and most of them were customers. I did not do anything else. I just had to ensure if they filled the form. All of them were drivers and some of them were customers. And then that was fixed. Okay, not just that. I was also able to submit post request, which means I was able to hit image and make actual changes and actual content deformation to their particular website belonging to Rapido. They had a content called driver leaderboard. So when I found this vulnerability, I had 800 data. When the vulnerability was fixed, I almost had 1600, which got doubled in less than 3 months. And the domain was relatively new. They bought the domain exactly 1 month ago. And somehow I just got I was able to find this domain. And then those stuff happened. Okay. So this is something with Rapido. I'll give you an interesting hack. Okay, I'll give you this interesting view. This was not actually directly owned by Rapido. Okay, I'll wind it up in probably 15 minutes. If I can take some time. Thank you. Am I boring you? Pretty direct. Even though if you're getting bored, I'm very sorry, you don't have any other choice. Anyways, I'm going to take 15 minutes, okay? So all these companies you see, it is either this was not the actual case with Rapido, okay? This was not actually owned by Rapido. This was managed by Rapido. This was owned by Rapido but managed by a third-party service who did not care much about the security. If in case if you ask me to probably work on the actual Rapido app, they might be secure. They might be secure. But the thing is, this is a very old forgotten domain. This was a domain back in 2023. So there is highly a chance that they don't care about security, but they had 1600 PA in data. Okay. Hacking the gatekeepers of unicorns and fortune companies. Okay. Again, this is a very interesting case study. This is a visitor management system. It's a visitor management software. Probably in very big IT park, users directly don't get inside to go and just go inside. You can't do that. There was this particular IT park in India. I won't even tell which place. There is IT park in India. It could be Bangalore, or it could be Gurgaon, or it could be even Ekadatangal. You will never guess it. Okay. So it could be even Perumudi. Okay. It could be even next street. I'm not opening my mouth. Okay. I was supposed to go there to meet for one particular event. Okay, incident. And before the day I visit, I got I had given my numbers to the concerned people, and I got an SMS saying, "Hi Ranganathan, you are scheduled to meet blah 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 this incident, this event. Kindly fill this form and generate a e-badge for you." Okay, that is a very special link. Okay, and that link will look like xyz.visitorportal.com/visitor/invite, and again numbers. So what I did is I filled the form and I got an OTP or something like that and generated a badge. I showed it to the security, and then he'll be like, "Thank you." Okay. But I found an unauthenticated endpoint. Unauthenticated endpoint is nothing but we have a whole admin panel, and there is this one page, and that one page was not authenticated, which means it could be admin, it could be like something like maybe xyz.com/visitors, xyz.com/login, xyz.com/dashboard/status. There are a lot of pages and endpoints, okay. But this one particular page did not have a password, okay. It was just like public. It was just, I don't know if it's not going to be public, obviously. This vulnerability was fixed in 15 minutes. Okay. They are such an amazing engineering team, if I'm not wrong. I believe it took a very short time, 15-30 minutes. I think I was not able to reproduce the vulnerability. Okay, it was fixed in very short time. Okay. I found an unauthenticated endpoint which gave me access to visitor photos. See, if I'm entering the building, they are taking a very awkward photo of me. I looked very worse, even in the person, just like Aadhaar card. Okay, they took a kind of Aadhaar card kind of a photo. They got my name, they got me which company I'm coming from, my in time, my out time, and all this stuff. Not just for me, I was able to ask the data for entire building, maybe even their other customers who are using that. Okay, let's say if there is XYZ IT park using this XYZ software, and that XYZ software, that XYZ IT company has, that IT park has tons of companies and customers, okay. If you take a co-working space, or if you take any IT park, probably in Chennai or in this OMR road, one park has lot of customers. So if I hack into this one particular visitor management system, I can hack multiple IT park, and multiple IT park has multiple customers, and I hacked into India's unicorns. Unicorn is basically a status which will be given to you if the company valuation crosses $1 billion. So I was able to hack into $1 billion companies. I was able to hack Fortune 500 companies. So something like what Gru says, you make a very secure visitor system, you use only OTP. Security will not allow you if you don't have OTP. But the worst part was I was able to generate OTPs and batches by myself. I had entire admin access. Okay. So again, this is something which the developers has to be careful. They could have added authentication, or they could have added some like middleware, or they could have been like preventing unauthenticated APIs. But there is one very amazing thing which I saw recently. We have a particular AI related I won't call it a software, but something like a tool, okay, that will basically analyze the voice and it will do all the decision making, A/B testing. It's a tool, okay. Basically it's an AI tool hosted on your systems, okay. We had a nice endpoint. We had a nice login page called /admin/login, okay. But what I did is I tried /admin and /signup, and that page was allowing literally anyone to sign up with any email address. They did not even care about admin approval, or they did not even care about the company's email ID. I signed up using Gmail ID, my personal ID. I logged into the AI, the portal, and I was able to analyze customer sentiment from their call recordings, if they are going to buy the product or not, their leads and all this stuff. Okay. So we have something called SSR, which is a server-side request forwarding. It is basically the attacker is going to manipulate a particular server, saying, "Bro, I am internal people only. We all are same people. So I will get inside the particular server, or I'm going to hit a request to internal resources which he doesn't have access to, okay, or she doesn't have access to, okay." So we have this entire AWS or Google Google Cloud or Microsoft Azure, or I don't think people use Alibaba or Oracle, so. But I think they tend to use DigitalOcean or Linode, okay. So all these high power systems running on high power supercomputers are vulnerable to this particular vulnerability, because here an attacker can hit request to internal services. Let's say that is going to include in AWS we have something called 169.254.169.254 /latest/metadata. I think that is for EC2. We have EC2 metadata, and we'll have all the internal credentials and AWS access key and secret keys, which are basically password. Okay, so that is not something which should be publicly available. But an attacker or some hacker who is trying to hit request, just giving an API call to their particular internal resource, they could access sensitive data. Okay, and sometimes that could also happen in open port. Port is basically nothing but it's more it's basically more like a door. Okay, we have a building, we have port 8080 for HTTP, and we have port 443 for HTTPS, and we have a port 3000. If you are doing some projects in your no-code tools, that is going to put in 3000 or 5000. 5000 will be for backend probably, and we have probably port 9200, that is for Elastic ELK, okay, Elastic Kibana, which is basically monitoring and logging all the resources and all the stuff that is happening internally within a company. And we had a particular open port which gave access to their internal resources which are being logged in, which are being monitored by the developers. That was a very new setup. but still somehow I was able to get access within like 1 week they created. Okay. And that is because I was using this tool called Showdown. Okay. So this Showdown tool, I think people are you aware about Showdown? Okay, that's it. Showdown is basically like a search engine, okay, but it is going to give you, or it is going to give more worse things than Google search engine, because Google usually communicates with web servers, HTTP, HTTPS, blah blah blah, all these protocols, but Showdown can communicate with any network level reachable device. It could include firewalls, it could include rocket satellites, it could include probably water pipelines, it could include publicly reachable ACs. It can even include the CCTV cameras,
Nuclear codes.
nuclear codes. If there is something like that for, see, those are not usually like network level reachable. Okay, they might be, but they are fully protected by a lot of internal network level segmentations, and it's like fully subnetted and all this stuff. Okay, I can give you probably awesome stuff to be done with Showdown. Again, it's just it's search engine, so you are going to use some queries to make sure it can understand. Okay. Try to look for something nice. I don't see anything interesting. So these it can include probably CCTV cameras, or okay, this guy somewhere from US, and that guy has okay, his garage CCTV camera or something like that. Or there is some other cameras here. It could also include probably IoT devices like factories, and it can also include maybe internal VPN portals. Say, I think it can also maybe like a HP printer. In here, probably you can monitor the resource and see what all the stuff which is being recorded publicly. Okay. And you can see if your network is being exposed here. Okay, it says, oh sorry. I don't know. something like this. Okay, this is a TNAS, which is basically for their storage management, and that is running on some port 3510. And some of these internal stuff they could be running in their default credential. Maybe like if you just just Google up, maybe Synology TNAS default password, something like this. Okay, and the device is admin and password is blank, something like this. Okay, so people they tend to forget the default credential which was once set up for internal service. Okay, and again this one is a very interesting issue which I found with LinkedIn. LinkedIn has a nice feature called connection request, where you can personalize your request and give a short 300 characters note asking, "Hi, let's connect." Let's look at for possible collaboration or something like that. I usually send cold DMs and stuff to the my potential prospects. Okay, so what I found is I was able to manually send a post request to the LinkedIn API, to the LinkedIn servers, with more than 1 million characters, and if someone opens that in their mobile app, it's going to be very difficult for it to render, and the phone is going to get the app is going to get hung and crashed. Okay, something they found with LinkedIn, because again it's not being a server side validation, and it does not do strict check with the backend. Okay, so while we end the session, usually maximum companies they focus on the development and operations, and they tend to miss security usually for SMBs and stuff like that, because the thing is, again, it is not something which is in their priority. That is going to cost them money, that is going to cost issue with their budgets. They have to be answerable to their investors. The finance team has to approve their budget for cyber security. They would have already had a budget set up for their rest of the financial year. And somewhere I go and ask, bro, let's work on cyber security project or stuff like that. They usually don't have the time. Or again, they can make up the time, but it really depends. Okay. So I'm talking about medium level and enterprises, not very big enterprise or tech giants like Apple or Google, but I'm talking about someone maybe who delivers food in India, or who uses transportation and logistic services, stuff like that. Okay, so it's better if the company or the companies or the developers, they should be more of a shift left culture, where they can easily catch the security flaw at their early stage of the development. And it can be the secret management service, or it can be having OWASP and other guidelines and frameworks like NIST or whatever, and having continuous monitoring solutions within internally and externally can improve the companies and developments security culture to an extent. And again, security is not something which is more like a one-time solution, or it's not something which you do it and which you don't test it for the rest of the life. If the development happens daily, security should also be happening daily, or at least weekly once. So security could be something which a company can leverage, and they can have that to get more customers. And if you take US, we have something called SOC 2 for the SaaS, SOC 2 type 2, okay. And we have something called, if you take Europe regions, we have something called GDPR. We have other regions, we have for various SaaS companies, we have something called ISO 27001 or ISOE, ISE, all the compliances we have. And for India, we have RBI regulations for the fintech apps. So if something goes wrong with the security, as a developer, so I believe it is very mandatory that you put efforts in learning security and leveraging the application more with security. And again, I believe it's quite easy to hack the vendor. instead of the company. If you look at the here, if you look at the application, we were mostly like trying to hack vendors and not the actual customers, and sometimes the actual customers. Okay, so that's it. Nandri Vanakkam, and I hope I did not bore you much. If you are, I thought we were supposed to clap, but anyways. Anyways, thank you so much. Hope I did not bore you much. You can connect with me here if you want, and if you have any doubts, you can ask. Yeah, I think.